Hello again. We're halfway into October, after going through the silent era of the 1920s and the slasher era of the 1980s. Today we're going to be going to the in-between point with a low-budget 1950s cult classic, loaded with giant lizards, model trains, dancing teenagers, and a surprising amount of product placement for mobile. Today we're looking at the giant Gila monster from 1959.
What is this black menace that kills everything?
Made on a budget of $175,000 and filmed near Dallas, Texas, the giant Gila monster was conceived due to drive-in movie chain owner Gordon McLeodin wanting co-features to play at his attractions. Main producing duties were credited to future Gunsmoke actor Ken Curtis, who gave directing duties to Ray Kellogg, this being Kellogg's directional debut after working in special effects. Kellogg came up with the film's story, while the film script itself was written by Jay Sims, writer of Panic in Year Zero and many episodes of several classic TV shows. The same year, Kellogg, Curtis, and Sims would make another 50s cult classic, The Killer Shrews.
It's a Sorex Cericidae. Shrews as small as rats, until they began to grow and grow.
Both movies were released together as a double feature at McLendon's drive-ins and received a fair amount of national release. Funnily enough, both movies ended up being showcased on Mystery Science Theater 3000, which is where most audiences probably know them from. Me personally, the first time I ever heard of this film was when I saw the trailer play at the Sci-Fi Diner restaurant at Hollywood Studios in Disney World.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is your host, Walt Disney.
Thank you, Garco.
An actually decent burger and fries joint that any lover of B-movie cinema will have a blast at, and I totally recommend going to it if you have a chance.
You shake my nerves and you rattle my brain. You broke my will, break is a great balls of fire.
I agree.
The movie takes place in a small, rugged-looking town, presumably in the South. The local teenagers all gather around and follow the straight-laced, hot-rod car mechanic Chase Winstead, played by 50s horror actor Don Sullivan. Going against the norm of the time, Chase gets along with most of the older folk, especially the town sheriff, played by character actor Fred Graham, a dude that has over 270 fucking acting credits.
My dream as an actor is to appear in every film ever released.
Just as the kids are gearing up for a big bash, teens and adults start disappearing, only their cars being left behind, crushed up with no blood. And while this will come as no surprise given the title, the killer is revealed to be a Gila monster. Worth noting, the Gila monster of the title isn't actually a Gila monster, it's actually a Mexican bearded lizard.
I did not know that.
But unless you have a cunt-bag science teacher for a stepdad, like I once did, then this probably won't mean much to you, so...
Who cares?
As more people start disappearing and a few survivors emerge from probably the most notable sequence in the film, Chase and the sheriff have to come to the realization that their culprit is a giant fucking lizard. And if you're wondering why the Gila monster is so big, the film tries to give an explanation every now and then, each one more retarded than the last.
There are still vast and virtually unexplored regions where no human ever goes and no life is ever seen.
How can sound exist if there's no one there to hear it? Ooh.
And the theory was that they lived in kind of river delta country. Certain salts had washed into the valley, absorbed by the plants, then transferred to the animals, causing them to be giants.
That's the stupidest thing I ever heard of.
In a move that reminds me of the cops from Pieces, the sheriff trusts Chase so much that he actually enlists him and his teenage friends to investigate the disappearances of a few of the victims, something that is rightfully pointed out later on should have been handled by the actual cops.
Steve, there's a girl here about a missing person.
Well, I'm about to jump into something else.
The crossword puzzle?
Jumble, actually.
The wealthy, influential father of one of the missing kids, Mr. Wheeler, played by Bob Thompson, is the only person who seems to dislike Chase, putting pressure on the sheriff to solve the disappearances.
You ask me, it's that Chase Winston. He's older than the others. Sets them all wrong. He's got more influence on Pat than I have.
This is the one character who is so badly written in his unlikableness that it almost wrecks the so bad it's fun element of the film. There's a scene where Chase visits his girlfriend Lisa, played by 1957 French Miss Universe contestant Lisa Simone. She reveals that Mr. Wheeler is threatening to stop sponsoring her and have her sent back to France if she continues seeing Chase. Chase shows support in the way a guy from the 1950s does.
Now, we don't have to worry about that. You know how to speak English well enough to get a job anywhere.
Right. There's also a subplot, I guess, to help make Chase look more saint-like, where he's trying to save money to help his sister learn to walk again after an undisclosed accident.
Stay there, Chase.
This should be touching, but the execution is very schmaltzy.
That was wonderful, baby.
We walked all the way, twice. I want to do it right for you.
And maybe it's just me, but I find it hard to take this scene seriously when the little crippled sister looks like an adult midget in drag.
What the fuck is that supposed to mean?
The movie's climax culminates with the kids having their little dance party. Just as things are getting hot, the Gila monster smashes through the barn. Chase stops by the mechanic shop and picks up some nitroglycerin that his boss just had lying in storage.
Well, I like to be prepared for anything.
With his French alien girlfriend in tow, Chase drives out to take down the Gila. Chase and Lisa end up having to save his sister from getting caught in the Gila's path, and with the nitro in the passenger seat, Chase sacrifices his hot rod to take out the beast.
I can't believe that just fucking happened. Is it dead? Oh my god.
The sheriff's respect boner for Chase grows tenfold. Even curmudgeon Mr. Wheeler appears to lighten up on the boy.
I guess Chase is out of a job. Did you make it a point to have the boy come around and see me in the morning?
Chase, Lisa, Sheriff Jeff, and Toothpick Leg Missy gather together, smile wide, and watch the Gila monster burn. So that was the giant Gila monster, and like many B-movies, I actually really enjoy this one, although I will admit, it is a very mixed mess of a film. The biggest issue for me is how we never see the Gila monster in the same frame with any of the actors. And the way the characters' reactions are acted, and the way the scenes are cut, you never believe the monster is actually there. You know a movie is cheap when they can't even do rear projection. Bertie Gordon laughs at your incompetence. There's also the fact that despite this being an extremely dangerous monster, the Gila is very slow in moving around. You'd think for a special effects man, Ray Kellogg could do so much better. The dialogue can get pretty dumb at times.
Ooh, that's bitter. Must have an awful lot of mineral in it.
And last, but certainly not least, Don Sullivan's banjo musical moments.
Laugh, children laugh, the Lord said laugh. Children laugh, the Lord said laugh. Beautiful garden, held in the arms of a world without joy.
I got one ear. I got no ears.
Now he has no ears. Are you happy?
Laugh, children laugh, the Lord said laugh. Children laugh.
You know, I can kind of understand the gimp of a sister enjoying this ear rape, but the teens?
And then the Lord, he said, I created for you a world of joy from out of the blue.
If I wanted to hear a loon play a religious song on the banjo, I'd go down to South Park.
Jesus, oh how I love you, Jesus.
Although despite all that, that doesn't mean there aren't some pros to this little flick. Despite how half-brained the dialogue can get at times, I honestly can say that most of the actors in this film, particularly the major players, give pretty decent performances, and a lot of them are pretty likable, which actually led to me caring about what happened to them, and mixed with the very impressive score by Jack Marshall, creates some genuinely suspenseful moments. We also get some funny scenes from Western character actor Jug Fisher as Old Man Harris.
Morning, Sheriff. Let me smell your breath. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. And despite the obvious cheapness, I'm just a sucker for model set scenes. So yeah, despite its flaws, there actually is a lot that I admire about the giant Gila monster, its only major setback being its limited effects budget. Thanks to MST3K and the Sci-Fi Diner, the film has developed a long-lasting, so bad it's enjoyable legacy. In 2012, it actually got a remake titled Gila, and even featured an appearance by Don Sullivan, his first acting role in many decades. As mentioned before, director Ray Kellogg would collaborate with the same producers the same year on The Killer Shrews, and the following year they would all work together again on the animal film My Dog Buddy. And then in 1968, Kellogg would wrap up his directing career by co-directing with John Wayne the Vietnam War movie, The Green Berets. So while not as long and successful as his special effects career, you can't say Kellogg's directing career wasn't memorable. So yeah, I totally recommend the Giant Gila Monster if you're in the mood for a quick, black and white schlockfest. Hope everybody's October is going well. I will see you again soon. We will finally jump back into the Halloween franchise with Michael Myers.
It's been 20 years. Don't you think he would have shown up by now?
Everyone is entitled to one good scare. I've had my share.
What is it? Move over, Dad. I want to pass.
What is it now?
I think you better give me a tow, Dad. The steering wheel won't work.